Hace poco volví de un viaje a Estados Unidos y quería comentar un poco aquí en inglés como listening y texto para que escuches un poco del inglés. Hola a todos, buenos días, bienvenidos otra vez aquí al podcast de Aprende Más Inglés. Como siempre, soy Daniel, te hablo desde la hermosa ciudad de Barcelona y hoy tenemos un listening con texto también. El texto está en la web aprendemasinglés.com/394. aprendemasinglés.com/394. Si quieres escuchar una vez antes de leer el texto, simplemente escuchando para ver lo que entiendes, eso podría ser una muy buena idea también. En fin, vamos a escuchar un poco. My trip to the USA. I recently went to the US. This is not something I do very often. Since I moved to Spain in 2004, I've only been back to my home country a few times. This time, my wife had a conference to attend in Las Vegas, something organized by her company. She also wanted to visit New York. Personally, I'm not very interested in Las Vegas or New York, but I went along anyway. My wife had never been to the US before, so I felt like I should go with her as a tour guide. We also planned to visit my mom in Phoenix, Arizona, and I decided to visit my dad in Portland, Oregon, instead of going to Las Vegas. So off we went, leaving Barcelona and arriving in New York on the afternoon of October 1st. New York is very expensive. I had only been there once before, when I was about 22, and I don't remember much. But I do remember the sensation of walking in crowds of people between the massive skyscrapers. And I remember how expensive it was. This time I enjoyed New York more or less. At least I enjoyed the museums. We visited the Metropolitan Museum of Art, also known as the Met, which is a spectacular old building on the edge of Central Park. The Met has a few paintings by Van Gogh and several by El Greco. Really, it's got too much to see in one day. My favorite thing at the Met was the massive painting of Washington crossing the Delaware, which I had seen copies of, but had no idea it was so big. The other museum we went to was the Museum of Modern Art, also known as the MoMA. The MoMA has all sorts of interesting paintings. The Persistence of Memory by Salvador Dalí was there. So was The Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh, and the massive mural painting Water Lilies by Claude Monet. Other highlights included the New York Public Library, which has an exhibition of important documents, including a handwritten copy of the proposed Bill of Rights from 1789. The original had 12 articles, but only 10 were accepted, forming what Americans now call the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution. I also enjoyed the pastrami and Reuben sandwiches at Katz's Deli. The food in New York wasn't bad. We had a lot of pizza by the slice and Thai food as well, but nothing beats pastrami. After a few days in New York, my wife flew off to Las Vegas, and I went to Portland. Portland is in the Pacific Northwest, which is a place I haven't spent much time. My dad lives downtown next to the university, but I was staying in a hotel in Chinatown, which has a lot of homeless people. Portland is a bit strange. Before I came here, I had heard it was just like Europe. But since I live in Europe, I would say it's not like Europe at all. But it does have some better architecture than some places in the US. In Portland, I hung out with my dad and walked around drinking coffee. I enjoyed walking up 23rd Avenue and the big trees in Washington Park and Powell's City of Books. Portland is a pretty nice place, and a lot of people I knew back in high school moved up there at one point. I moved to Spain and haven't lived in the US, so it's a mystery what my life would be like in a place like this. The weather was pretty good while I was there. It didn't rain at all. After a few days, I'm off to Phoenix, my hometown. My wife enjoyed her business conference, but didn't like Las Vegas much. I can understand that. I don't like Las Vegas either. Coming into Phoenix, her plane was several hours late, but she finally arrived late at night. We stayed with my mom, who lives in a nice area of what we call downtown Phoenix. It's not a downtown like most cities because everybody lives in small houses, not flats or apartments, and you can't really walk anywhere. The nearest coffee shop or supermarket is 2 miles away. My mom has a dog and spends a lot of time weaving. She has 2 big looms at home, and she participates in local weaving organizations. She also grows fruit trees. There's a big fig tree in her front yard, and peach and pecan trees out back. My mom took us to some of the museums around Phoenix. The Heard Museum has one of the world's best collections of Native American art. The tribes living in Arizona include the Navajo, the Hopi, the Apache, and others. We also went to the Phoenix Art Museum, which has a temporary exhibition of Florentine Baroque paintings, as well as textiles from the north of India. And there's a new Western Spirit Museum out in Scottsdale that has art related to the Wild West period. One day we went up to the desert, to the house where I grew up. When I tell people I grew up in the middle of the desert, nobody believes me. But it's true. We lived on a dirt road with few neighbors out in the desert to the north of Phoenix. It was, in my opinion, a pretty boring place to grow up. In Phoenix, I enjoyed eating Mexican food. I ate a lot of chimichangas, sort of a fried burrito that's typical in the Southwest US. And I enjoyed seeing my mom. But generally, there's not a lot to do in Phoenix. My wife is from South India, and she's lived in Spain for about 10 years. Like I said, this was her first time in the US, and she said everyone was really nice. Like a lot of people, she commented on the abundance. There's just so much stuff in the stores, and the sizes of the products are all huge. So she enjoyed the experience, but we're both happy with our lives in Barcelona. I'm really happy, actually, that I don't still live in the desert. I'm sure it would be different as an adult, but I really didn't enjoy being in the middle of nowhere like that. I like being in the city for now. When I got back to Spain, I also received some good news. My application for Spanish nationality was accepted, so now I'm officially Spanish. I have the passport and everything. This is a pretty exciting development for me because I have lived in Spain for so long. Viva España, and God bless America. Eso es lo que tengo para hoy. Ahí en la web tienes también una explicación del vocabulario de ahí en el texto. Tengo la lista de vocabulario interesante con traducción al español de cada cosa. Así que pásate por aprendemasinglés.com/394 y ahí tienes tanto el texto que acabo de leer como la lista de vocabulario. Te recuerdo que estamos en la hora de grabar eso en el mes de noviembre y si quieres aprovechar de los descuentos de Black Friday, tienes todo en aprendemasinglés.com/cursos. aprendemasinglés.com/cursos. Utiliza el código Friday, que es viernes, por supuesto, el código Friday en cualquier curso o combinación de cursos. Si quieres, tendrás un descuento del 50%. Esta oferta es solo para el mes de noviembre 2025, así que aprovecha ahora aprendemasinglés.com/cursos y el código Friday para el descuento. Muchísimas gracias por escucharme. Espero que pases un muy buen día, estés donde estés en el mundo y nada. Hasta la próxima. Bye.